NBA 2K19 tutorial number 1. Today I'll be teaching and showing you guys the single most overpowering archetype for 2K19 and the position it needs to be. And also I'll be showing you guys what's the best modification for you based on your goals and playstyle with this build in terms of height, wingspan, and your body weight. And also there will be detailed study of the results in terms of exact attributes, and also there will be early game film of the performance of this build with what's available for us right now. And tomorrow there will be tutorial number 2, and that one is focused on pick and rolls. But today, let's break down what I consider the most overpowering build in 2K this year. So the position it needs to be is a shooting guard. Now don't panic because you're only using the shooting guard build. You don't necessarily have to play a shooting guard. You can use this as a point guard. I actually suggest you use this as your point guard in a pro-am setting, or even if you're playing the practice. You're going to be the lead handler, but the position it requires to be is shooting guard, because this year, position decides what kind of badges you get. So shooting guard position is going to get you the best badges for this build. So make sure you use a shooting guard, but you can play as a point guard if you choose to be. Just make sure it's a shooting guard build. Now, the archetypes you're going to need for your primary and secondary is the shot creating archetype. That's the most overpowering archetype in this year's game. This is because, unlike you remember from previous year, the shot creator actually can now do it all. Look at the build bars on the side. I have done the math for them. So the bars actually can go into attributes. I'll show you guys that in the middle tutorial, but just looking at the bars, you can see this man is a mid-range god, and at the same time he is incredibly reliable from the 3-point range. With the attribute caps reach, this man can actually crack 83 to 85 overall 3-point rating. And he's got 80 plus handling, 90 plus mid-range, 80 plus finish on dunks and layups. And awkwardly enough, if you look at the post offense, this man can also post. He will actually end up with over maybe a 80 post fadeaway and a post hook shot. Rebounding is decent, and most importantly, his handling can also crack the 80. So this build, essentially, you can call him Mr. 80 Man, because he's got 80s in everything. Well, with 90s into the mid-range. Lateral quickness is good, speed and acceleration also close to 80. I mean, if you got a guy that's gonna be 80 in everything in 2K, finishing, layups, posts, everything, that's the OP build, really. As a shooting guard, this man with pure shot creators this year can do it all. But it's gotta be a shooting guard. Why? Because of badges. Take a look at the badges in detail. When you have a pure shot creating shooting guard, your badges are gonna have 4 Hall of Fame, 5 gold, 8 silver, 8 bronze. But look at what they really are. If you take a look at the Hall of Fame badges, the shooting guard pure shot creator gets mid-range stat Hall of Fame, difficult shots Hall of Fame, tireless scorer, teardropper. What does that all equate to? Those 4 badges can actually all work together for you in a pick and roll setting where you are coming off a screen. You can pull up for mid, you can pull up for very difficult mids, and at the same time you can also get into the paint but not really finish all the way in. You can finish in the mid-tier area of the paint with your teardroppers. This guy is a pick and roll scoring god in the mid-range to paint and early paint area. But look at his gold badges. His gold badges is what makes this ridiculous, and this is why you need to be a pure shot creator 2 guard. He's got gold in corner specialist and catch and shoot and acrobat. This means this man is going to be able to finish his drives, but that's not the biggest thing. It's the corner specialist and the gold catch and shoot that's ridiculous. Remember, as a pure, if you don't make no modifications to his height, weight, and any of that, he's still got an 80 plus 3-pointer. You make modification to that, plus the fact that he's got gold specialist and gold catch and shoot. This guy is not only a very good pick and roll scorer, as you saw from his Hall of Fame badges and his ratings, this guy is also a good spacer off the floors, where he can let his other teammates shine if there's a mismatch in the power forward or different wing or center positions. He can space, run pick and he can shoot threes, shoot mids, run pick and rolls, and finish in the hoop. And he's also got limitless range, silver range that eye. His diamond and pick and roll ratio are low, as in the bronze tier. You would think that's a worry, but not really, because when it comes to pick and roll, it's about your screener and your stick skills. The point is, he's got enough ratings from the shooting range to make any type of pick and roll work, and he can space the floor too in the corners. This is the OP build. Now, in comparison, you'd be like, well, what if I make a pure shot creator point guard. You can do that. If you look at the attribute bars, this is interesting to see because they're exactly the same. If you get the primary, secondary skill as a pure shot creator, if you're the point guard, you're working with it basically at the beginning. You're working with the same exact attributes, but obviously what's the difference? The badges. Look, instead of 4 Hall of Fame and 5 golds, this guy's got the same 4 Hall of Fame badges, which is fine, which means same result, right? Pick and roll scoring guard in the mid-range, early paint, deep paint area. But the point is, if you look at his gold badges, he's only got acrobat, up and under specialist, and free throw ace. What is missing is the gold corner specialist and the gold catch and shoot, which was the key to the whole thing with the pure shot creating 2 guard, right? Because that guy can space. If you make a pure shot creating version of a point guard, you cannot space because you have only silver shooting badges. You get the pick and roll ratio and the diamond as silver, 1 up from bronze, but that's not worth it. That's not worth giving up shooting. It's 2K, you need the shooting. And if you go small forward, pure shot creator, you don't want that. The attribute bars are the same, but the badges are much worse. Hall of Fame one stays the same, but now not only are you a worse shooter with the silver badges from the shooting, you're actually also a worse pick and roll player because now the pick and roll badges go back to bronze. You don't want that. So what you want is a shooting guard, pure shot creator, because shot creator is the most OP archetype in the game. Lets you do everything. Now let's take a look at detail on how I'm gonna help you guys further modify your pure shot creator shooting guard to suit your needs, because the way you change height, weight, and wingspan is gonna suit your needs. There's no best way to do it. It's about what you want, right? So basically, by default, it's 6'4". You don't want that. As the height goes up, what happens is you can see the standing dunk, the strength is becoming higher. If you go really high, like 6'8", at this point, you can see what you got here is you have a solid all-around shooter, pure shot creator, a decent handler who can bully people inside. So it's a 6'8" version of it. That's a really big 2 guard. That is a bullying 2 guard because remember the post is pretty high, but you don't want that unless you really want to post. This is what you want. This is what I did, and this is what I wanted. Because with this as a 6'3", what you get instead is a all-around shooter who can also handle and finish. You can see the boost, a little bit of boosting in all of the shooting categories, a decrease in standing dunk, which I mean, why would you want a standing dunk as a pure shot creator shooting guard? Strength, steal, and block goes down. This guy is not a defender, so don't worry about defense. That's the kind of hits you can take. And especially if you're in the shooting guard position, for those of you who watch or understand basketball and play, pro-am and things like that, as a shooting guard, you can hide. You can hide on the point guard, hide on the shooting guard, or hide on the small forward. The point is, when you're a shooting guard, you can hide anywhere. You can guard the worst guy on the team, on the other team. So you don't really need defense. So this is what you want. You want a 6'3", to get the boosters you need for lateral quickness, ball control, because remember, you're aiming for pick and rolls. But with the higher vertical and the speed with ball and the driving layup, this guy becomes a better finisher with the driving dunk also. Now, could you push it further and make him 6'1"? Yes, you can. Actually, when this shooting guard pure shot creator is modified into a 6'1" height, this is the best scoring point guard build in the game. There is no better scoring point guard than this guy. Pick and roll scoring in the mid-range, spacing, shooting from the free. This guy can do everything. But what you need to understand is, if you make a 6'1" version of this guy, you better have a pretty dedicated pro-am team. I say that because if you do this, you have to be the point guard. You cannot run with another point guard if you're 6'1", right? 6'3", you can still kind of squeeze by as a combo guard. At 6'1", you are the freaking point guard. You just happen to be using the shooting guard build, but you are the point guard of the team. So you better be playing with 4 other players or other guys you play with. None of them running a point guard position, so you get defaulted into the point guard position as a 6'1" pure shot creator. Look at the boosters you get, look at the previous attributes, and remembering the shooting guard badges for pure shot creator, you are gonna be freaking ridiculous at 6'1". But I went with the 6'3", that was my choice. The choice is yours, up to you. But I went with the 6'3" because I kind of I wanted to be the lead handler anyways. I'm also aiming to, I can run my Operon team, I'm probably going to be the lead handler role. It's just I want to be a combo guard because that suits my style more, because I do like to post when necessary. Remember, this guy can post. As a 6'3" lead handler, I can post the other team's point guard if I really want to. And understand this, you made a SG. This is what you gotta understand, right? You made a shooting guard, but you're trying to take advantage of the overpower archetype that is the shot creator. So really, this guy is really the PG and the lead handler of your team at 6'3" or at 6'1". Right? He is or even in Park Pro-Am, or even in my career, you are the lead handler. You just happen to play shooting guard, but in reality, you are serving the point guard role. Kind of like LeBron small forward point guard kind of style. So what you need to appreciate is that the all-around greatness of a pure shot SG just cannot be denied. You need to use this as the base. Like, this is the canvas of what you build off of. As you make modifications to your weight, height, and all that, you can change it. You can become a bigger wing player. You can become a kind of like an OK slasher that's got really good shooting and handling, right? Those will change based on what you need. That's why I said earlier, based on your playstyle and aspirations. So you're going to make modifications as you see fit. But obviously for me, I made the 6'3" version because this is what I like. And for the weight, I bumped him to 197 because I wanted the extra contact dunk. So it's going to give me a little bit of extra advantage in the post play and the finishing department because I do play big even though I'm a small guy. This is a personal preference. The wingspan, I have no interest in creating a long wingspan. I suggest you don't either because this guy isn't here to defend. You made him to score. He is here to do everything that is involved with scoring. He's not going to be able to defend anything, really. That's not his job, right? Leave that to somebody else. So do not have a long wingspan because this year, as you can see, the long wingspan only benefits your defensive abilities. So what you're going to do is, much like me, you're going to further double down on shooting and handling to maximize pick and roll and spacing abilities. So the shortest wingspan is 77.3, and you can see insane buff to the open shot mid-range and the open shot free and the off the dribble mid-range and free. Defense is going to go to the bottom, but that's not the worry. Once again, you are going to be a scoring combo guard machine. So with all this, let's take a look at the final result, the numbers. If you do all of that, let me break down the detailed numbers to you. So this is based on the 85 version, so not even with all the attribute caps reach. And you can see this man is already, like I said earlier, right? This is the Mr. 80 man. You can see he's already got the 80 driving layup. This is not capped out either, right? 80 free standing layup, 80 free shot close. The dunks, once again, when capped out, will definitely be at 80. The driving dunk will be at 80. Contact dunk is still relatively high. Standing dunk, not a concern. You're a 2-guard. Don't worry about that. This guy is the mid-range machine with the Hall of Fame badges. When it's capped out, it will all be at 90s. Coming off a pick, you're deadly in the mid-range area. The craziest thing about Shot Creator, what makes it OP this year, is that these guys can shoot free. As you can see, even without the attribute caps reach, he's already at a 77 open 3-point shooter. With the builds modifications I have made to this, when it's capped out, if you reach the maximum cap with the extra ones done, you are likely looking at a guy that is at 85 open shot with freaking gold corner catch and shoot and corner specialist. This guy can hit open threes, okay? The handling is very interesting. Even without it capped out, it's already at 81 based on my modifications. With it capped out, you're likely going to be able to use the highest tier dribble moves available in the game. So the pure shot creator can also use the highest tier dribbles. I mean, probably tier 3, I think. So yeah, he's going to be able to reach 85. Passing is not the greatest, but passing is up to you, right? That's on your vision and your skills. The guy's open, you're going to hit him. Post offense. Look, even with it capped out, it's already at high 70s. When it is capped out, it's all going to be at 80s. If you're running a pure shot creator shooting guard as your team's point guard or as the lead handler of even a 3-on-3, and you're looking at another point guard, you're gonna eat that guy up because you got 80 post and extra strength. You're gonna post fade in the mid-range area with all of your Hall of Fame badges, and you actually have gold up and under too. Like, what? This guy is a real post threat. That's why I gave him the extra bit of weight. But that's up to you. I actually like the post. You can see the rebounding steals are pretty good. Lateral quickness also very high. Speed is very high. When the cap is already at 82. That's why he can run pick and rolls. Acceleration will also be in the low 80s when it's capped out. Strength is extremely high. This guy literally can do it all. So let's see how my 6'3" pure shot shooting guard, his play style and how he plays out in game. This is the performance we can get, footage we get from Prelude. Obviously, more footage is going to come as the year goes on. As I get this build across all modes, you'll be seeing more. So make sure you visit back to see the updates. But with this guy, as you see, the middle pick and roll is a viable weapon with this build. He has enough handling speed and lateral quickness and just control of the ball and height and strength to be a threat in that. Speed and finishing ability is also above average and very reliable, blowing by Giannis there. And I didn't upgrade this guy at all, so he came with creation. So this guy's like, what, a 60? And he's doing pretty good. Once again, the middle pick and roll is extremely useful. Stick skills obviously is important, but that's something you can work on yourself. The point is, this guy gives you the perfect canvas to do everything on offense. He's quick and good enough to actually even force switches, as you can see here on side pick and rolls. Good enough to make the pass on the switch. Damian Lillard, even against a Chinese guy, is a power forward, got no chance. And he does have the ability to finish. He is like a legit pick and roll threat ever. You can see him finishing contact, double clutching that layup, finishing through. NBA team versus Shanghai team doing decently here. This guy, as you see him demonstrate, is honestly a all-around scoring threat from everywhere. And even the ISO breakdown can also be reliable at times with a nice finishing touch. That's an ISO Hesi, roll by on the baseline into a reverse layup. Stick skills and timing by me, yes, but the point is it's possible with this guy. The potential is there, and that's why it's the perfect build. Side pick and roll pull up mid can also be deadly. Last year this is a contested shot, as you can see, wide open here, even with Curry behind me. I shot it early, that's my fault. I deserved that miss, but the point is that was wide open. So the mid-range game, very alive. And best part of all, he's reliable for open threes. Look at this. That's like a 63-pointer green release, kind of space to the side. That's incredible for a pure shot creator. This is OP, man. He gives it everything on offense. Forget about PGs, right? Make this guy the PG of your pro-am team, or even I don't know what kind of setting you're in. He is the lead handler because he can do it all. He can even freaking rebound, lead a brick. Big enough to run a side pick and roll, grabs his board, go side to side, coast to coast, green layup over Anthony Davis. Like, at I don't know, at 59 rated. This guy is real, man. This is the build you need. The most OP archetype is the shot creator, but it's gotta be a shooting guard because you get the right badges to make him a all-around monster in pick and rolls, in spacing, good enough handling, good enough finishing, good enough touch, can score an ISO. Just the guy can do it all. So as always, thanks for coming by. I would likely do more builds this year. I really believe it's gonna be a variation of shot creating something. If you're an offensive focused guy, like if you want to be a star or the main scorer of a team, it's gotta be shot creating something, because it's just so versatile. Like Mr. 80s, like I talked about earlier, right? So tomorrow there will be a pick and roll tutorial which focus on, stick skills. I mean, you can have the most overpowered build, but you need the stick skills to deliver the goods. So I'll be showing you guys more builds, more breakdowns, but most importantly, I will be teaching you the stick skills that you require to make the most out of your builds, or even just my team, any kind of player you choose, because at the end of the day, stick skills are what makes the difference. You can have the build, but you need the sticks to rise above. Alright, very, very happy to be back. The game is looking great so far. If you enjoyed this, add me a like, leave me a comment. I love chatting with you guys. So as always, happy to be here. 2K19, here we go. Back to the grind, and I'll see all of you next time.